Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into an important topic for all you travelers out there. Is your travel insurance outdated? 2025 changes explained. Listen, I love to travel as much as you do, but with how crazy things have been lately in the world, it's more important than ever to be prepared. We're talking about potential changes to travel insurance policies coming up in 2025 that could directly affect your next trip. We don't want any of you to be caught off guard. So in this video, we're breaking down everything you need to know about these upcoming changes, why travel insurance is non-negotiable, and how to make sure you're getting the absolute best coverage possible. Let's get started. And don't forget to subscribe to the GlobeBit YouTube channel for more travel tips and updates. Alright, so let's talk about these 2025 travel insurance changes. First off, why is everyone talking about this? Well, the travel industry is constantly evolving, right? And insurance companies are always trying to keep up with the latest trends and risks. That means periodically they update their policies, coverage, and sometimes even introduce entirely new clauses. Now, I don't have a crystal ball, and the exact details of every single change might vary depending on your insurance provider and where you live. It's always best to check directly with them for the most up-to-date information. But based on industry trends and some of the early announcements we've seen, there are a few key areas where we're expecting to see some significant shifts in 2025. One of the biggest things is the rising cost of healthcare. As healthcare expenses continue to increase globally, insurance companies are feeling the pressure. This means we might see higher premiums for travel insurance, especially for policies with extensive medical coverage. It's basic economics, guys. And speaking of medical coverage, there's a lot of talk about changes to pre-existing condition clauses. We'll dive deeper into that in a later chapter, but essentially, the definition of a pre-existing condition might be getting broader. Another thing to keep in mind is the increasing frequency of extreme weather events and global disruptions. Think about the crazy wildfires, hurricanes, and political unrest we've seen in recent years. These events can wreak havoc on travel plans, and insurance companies are taking notice. We could see changes in coverage for things like trip cancellations and interruptions due to these unforeseen events. Now, I don't want to scare anyone off, but it's important to be informed and understand that these changes are likely driven by real-world events and trends. The good news is that by being aware of these potential changes, you can be proactive and make sure you're getting the right coverage for your specific needs and travel plans. Remember, knowledge is power. And in the world of travel insurance, being informed can literally save you thousands of dollars and a whole lot of headaches down the line. Let's be real for a second. Traveling in 2023 and beyond is a completely different beast than it was just a few years ago. Remember when you could breeze through airport security, find a reasonably priced flight, and not have to worry about your luggage getting lost in the abyss? Yeah, me neither. We're dealing with more crowded airports, longer wait times, and flight prices that seem to skyrocket every other week. And let's not even get started on the baggage fees. It's enough to make anyone want to stay home and binge watch Netflix, right? But here's the thing. While we can't control all the chaos, we can control how prepared we are for it. And that's where travel insurance comes in. Think of travel insurance like a safety net for your trip. It's there to protect you from the unexpected, from medical emergencies to lost luggage to trip cancellations. And in today's unpredictable travel landscape, that peace of mind is priceless. Imagine this. You're on that dream vacation you've been saving up for all year and suddenly you get injured or sick. Without travel insurance, you could be looking at thousands of dollars in medical bills. Or what if your flight gets canceled due to bad weather and you're stranded at the airport? Travel insurance can help cover the cost of rebooking your flights and finding accommodation. And let's not forget about lost or stolen luggage. We've all been there, right? Travel insurance can reimburse you for essential items if your bags decide to take an unexpected detour. The bottom line is that travel insurance is no longer a luxury. It's a necessity. It's about protecting your investment in your trip and ensuring that you can travel with confidence, knowing that you're covered in case something goes wrong. Okay, so we've talked about why travel insurance is crucial, but let's get specific about those 2025 changes and what they could mean for you. One of the biggest things I'm keeping my eye on is the expanded definition of pre-existing conditions. Now, this is a tricky one because it can vary significantly between insurance providers. Traditionally, a pre-existing condition referred to a medical condition you had before purchasing your insurance. But now, some insurers are considering broadening that definition to include conditions that have emerged or worsened in a specific time frame before your trip, even if you weren't diagnosed yet. This means that if you've had any recent health issues, even if you haven't seen a doctor, it's crucial to disclose them to your insurance provider to avoid any issues with your coverage. Another area where we're seeing changes is coverage for natural disasters and climate change-related disruptions. As I mentioned earlier, extreme weather events are becoming more frequent and severe, and insurance companies are adjusting their policies accordingly. Some policies might offer more comprehensive coverage for events like hurricanes, wildfires, and floods, while others might introduce new exclusions or limitations. It's essential to carefully review the fine print and understand what's covered and what's not, especially if you're traveling to areas prone to these types of events. And speaking of climate change, there's a growing trend of insurance companies offering coverage for eco-anxiety or climate grief. This might sound a bit out there, but it reflects the very real emotional toll that climate change can have on people, especially when it disrupts their travel plans. If you're someone who's particularly affected by these issues, it might be worth looking into policies that offer this type of coverage. Alright, so with all these changes happening, how do you know what to look for in a travel insurance policy? Don't worry, I've got you covered. First and foremost, you want to make sure you're getting comprehensive coverage for medical emergencies. This includes things like hospitalization, surgery, emergency medical evacuation, and repatriation of remains. Trust me, you don't want to skimp on this one. Medical bills can add up quickly, especially if you're traveling abroad. Next up, trip cancellation and interruption insurance. This is crucial for those unexpected events that could derail your trip, like a sudden illness, a family emergency, or even those pesky airline strikes. Make sure your policy covers the full cost of your trip, including non-refundable expenses like flights and accommodation. Baggage insurance is another essential coverage to consider. Lost, stolen, or delayed luggage can really put a damper on your trip, but baggage insurance can help reimburse you for essential items and any additional expenses you incur while you're waiting for your bags to arrive. And here's a pro tip. Don't forget about personal liability coverage. This protects you in case you accidentally injure someone or damage property while you're traveling. It's not something you want to think about, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Now, when you're comparing policies, don't just focus on the price. Pay close attention to the coverage limits, deductibles, and exclusions. The cheapest policy might not always offer the best value, especially if it has low coverage limits or a high deductible. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Graham, you're killing me with all this insurance talk. But trust me, this last part is crucial. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned traveler or planning your first trip, reading the fine print of your travel insurance policy is non-negotiable. Think of it like this. You wouldn't sign a contract without reading it, right? Well, your travel insurance policy is a contract between you and the insurance company. It outlines exactly what's covered, what's not, and under what circumstances. Skipping over the fine print is like playing insurance roulette. You might get lucky and never have to use it, or you could end up with a nasty surprise when you need to make a claim and realize you're not covered. So, what should you be looking for in the fine print? First and foremost, pay close attention to the definitions section. This is where they'll define key terms like pre-existing condition, natural disaster, and medical emergency. Make sure you understand how they define these terms, as it could affect your coverage. Next, scrutinize the exclusions and limitations. These are the specific situations or events that aren't covered by the policy. For example, some policies might exclude coverage for high-risk activities like bungee jumping or skydiving, while others might have limitations on coverage for mental health conditions. Pay attention to the claims process as well. Find out how to file a claim, what documentation you'll need, and how long it typically takes to process a claim. Knowing this information in advance can save you a lot of stress and hassle if you ever need to use your insurance. And finally, don't be afraid to ask questions. If there's anything in the fine print that you don't understand, don't hesitate to contact your insurance provider and ask for clarification. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the GlobeBit YouTube channel for more travel tips and updates. Safe travels. Remember, travel insurance is an investment in your peace of mind. By understanding the upcoming changes, choosing the right policy, and reading the fine print, you can travel with confidence, knowing that you're prepared for whatever adventures come your way. See you in the next video. Stay tuned for more exciting content on GlobeBit.